Hello everybody, welcome to Erndales. My name is Dale and I'm coming to you from Western Manitoba in Canada. So I hope everybody's doing well. I have a lot to show you today, and it's another one of these catch-ups. And I mean a really big catch-up because I have had my finger in a bunch of different things. But I'm very happy to say that I am almost 100% finished with all my Christmas makes, which is just wonderful. I just have a few little bits and pieces to do, and then I can start wrapping, and a lot of it has to go in the mail. So I'm setting myself a date of Sunday to have everything wrapped so that Monday I can get it all out in the mail. And the things that I don't have to mail, well, I've finished Jonathan's wall hanging. I have the front and the back done, but I can't put it together. There are some areas in that wall hanging where if I went to sew a machine, it would be going through 6 layers of denim, and I just can't do that to my little machine. It's not capable of that. So I have ordered a couple of things. I have ordered some, and I've never tried this before. I've ordered some spray adhesive from Amazon. Have no idea if it's going to work, but I'm going to try and put the backing on with a spray adhesive. Let me know if any of you have used that. I never have, but I don't know what else I'm going to do. And then I've also ordered some waxed thread for leather. Actually, it was a kit. You get 12 or something different colors of waxed thread. Even has the awl, maybe that's how you say it. Anyway, and the needles and everything. And I think that is what I'm going to use to go around and stitch it closed on the sides. At least that's what I'm planning right now. If that doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I know my machine is not going to be able to sew that. It's just not, I don't have an expensive machine. It doesn't have, I'm actually quite amazed that it has sewn what it has sewn, because I did the whole front after I had placed everything down, and I just used a glue stick to stick it down. And then I went over the whole thing with the machine, and I machined it, and it did go through maybe 3 layers of denim, but the backing is also denim. So we'll have to just see what happens, but it is finished. Otherwise, all I have to do is put the back on and put some hangers on it, and it is good to go. So I can't wait to show it to you, but I can't show it to you till after he's seen it. So that is the last thing really that I have waiting to complete, and then I am all caught up with that stuff. So I'm thinking ahead to December really, and I have done no preparations for Vlogmas, so therefore I'm not doing Vlogmas, and I don't have time to do it now. We still have several appointments to go to, and to be honest with you, I'm pretty tired. I've been really hitting it hard, and I think I'm just going to, I will do a few extra videos, you know, maybe some music and some cooking and things like that. But Vlogmas per se, no, I won't. So, having said that, I do have a project that I'm going to show you in a few minutes that I am starting, and that's going to be my kind of just my relaxation, taking it easy, putting my feet up and enjoying myself project for the month of December. I really am itching to get my paints out again too, which I have not had time to even think about painting, but I might do a little painting too, just for me. So I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna show you what I've been up to. And at the end of all that, I do have an announcement of some winners, 2 winners for some cross stitch patterns. So enjoy this little bit, and then I'll see you at the end. I mentioned a few weeks ago that I had Eco printed some fabric. Remember, I had showed you the beautiful Ecoprinted paper that I got. Well, I did some fabric using leaves just from my garden, and I got much better results this time than I did the last time. And that is because I think I used alum, which I didn't use any other time. This is something new that I've just tried to use, and the alum seems to be the game changer for Ecoprinting, for me anyway, especially leaves and things. So I want to show you what I bought. So this was a scarf that I picked up for 10 cents. It's a silk scarf, and I just printed it with some leaves from the garden, and I like how it turned out. This is going to be very useful in quite a few projects, actually. It's nothing that you can really see, but it's color. This was totally black and white. I actually tea dyed this first, and then I used leaves for Ecoprinting. You can see a little bit of the string marks and things, but yeah, it turned out pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. And I have several pieces of it. I ripped it up into smaller pieces. This piece turned out really nice. So for me, the key to Ecoprinting is going to be alum. And now I used tea in this as well. I did not use rust. I didn't want the dark gray for this. I wanted it to be more browns, colorfuls, more old looking than not. So that turned out pretty good. And then there's one more piece. Yeah, they're nice. I really like how they turned out. So that was that silk scarf. And this was an old piece. I think my mom did this originally. It's full of holes, and I had rust dyed it once and tea dyed it, and it didn't have much to it. It had a little bit of rust dyeing down here. I don't know if you can see that here. It's very misshapen. It's linen. So I did it again because I want this part right here. I'm going to fussy cut this out, and I'm going to be putting this in my coverlet of comfort when I get back to making it in the new year, which I am going to go back to making it, but I want to put this piece in there because this is a piece of hers. And now I really like how it looks. You know, if you just frame that out, that's really pretty. And there's a couple of other little areas here that I want to cut out. And then the rest I'll just use as scrap. So this turned out really nice. I'm happy with this. Now I can use it like this in my coverlet. There's a nice leaf print right here. I think that was a rose. So that turned out good. This was just a little piece of linen. Look at the colors in it. I'm so excited because I never ever got anything like this before when I worked with tea or coffee or rust. This one is more muted, but still has some really pretty colors to it. The more muted ones are the ones probably that were inside, but look at this. Isn't this pretty? I mean, this is just gorgeous. It looks like it's been watercolor painted. So that turned out nice. Here's another piece of linen. This one is really lovely. Look at all the nice prints on here. And of course the inside is always different than the outside. Look at this. So if you're like me and look at this. This is, it might even be an oak leaf. I don't know. I didn't have very many oak leaves, but this turned out beautiful. If you're like me and you are new to Ecoprinting and you've tried tea and you've tried, this is another inside piece. You've tried tea, you've tried rust, and you haven't been all that excited. This is a whole new ball game. I did a bunch of little pieces because I want to use them. I want to use it as scrap. I started a couple of scrolls, and I really want to put these into my scrolls. They're going to be beautiful. Another little piece. I did a lot of little pieces. Oh, I even did a little piece with a bit of lace on the end of it. It turned out nice too. But I did a lot of little pieces. And some of these little pieces turned out just beautiful. Look at them. This is a piece of damask linen. This was a tablecloth of my mom's, and it was in really bad shape. But look at how that took up the color. It's gorgeous. I have so much to work with here now. I'm so excited. This is that piece of linen with a little lace on it, and it turned out really nice too. This piece is gorgeous. I love this piece. There's always one piece that's the best, and I think this is the best. Look at it. Now, this piece had been rust dyed prior. That's why the rust's on there. I think this was a piece that I had rust and tea dyed, and I wasn't happy with it, so I did it again with the Ecoprinting, and that to me is like a perfect piece of Ecoprinting right there. Just lovely. So I'm going to have so much fun working with this. This is another inside piece. It's quite muted, but still has some nice leaf print on it. I love this green here. It just looks like it's been watercolor painted. So beautiful. And I found the cloth is so soft. This is another piece of that damask linen. You can see it's got a different shine to it. It's beautiful fabric, actually. And it really takes the stain lovely. This had also been rust dyed first in a different, and I didn't care for the finish, so I did it again with Ecoprinting, and it's beautiful. Another tiny little piece. I wanted to show this to you because I want to, I'm anxious to put them to use. Another little piece. This was just, I think this was just a sheet, bed sheet, an old bed sheet. Another little tiny piece. And a really tiny piece. That's another piece of that special, beautiful linen. It has a bit of patterning to it as well. It's gorgeous. And this was something that had been rust and tea dyed, and actually I think coffee as well. And it was not to my liking, but now it is. I've added more grunge to it, and I really like it. There's some really nice prints on here. Look at this. That's a rose. Roses really print beautifully. I'm learning a little bit about the leaves too, and which ones print the best. I guess it's just you have to just try it and write down what you did where. These are linen placemats. They did not turn out all that great. I don't know why. They had been tea dyed before. I have 4 of them, I think. And none of them are all that great. But, there is some color in them. And this is a piece, well, here's 2 more of those other ones. We'll just keep on going with these. This one's not bad. It's got some nice marks on it. And this one is pretty good, too. This one has some nice marks here. This is a very thick cloth, this one. It's cotton, though. There's an arm to a bear. I don't know how that got in there, but gee, that gives me an idea for making another one of my slow stitch bears with fabric that's all been Ecoprinted. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? Here's another piece of that linen, that special linen. And this linen, you can't tear it. I've tried, but you get really grungy, fluffy ends when you try. So it's nice to work with. Another piece of that bed linen. And last but not least, this is another piece of linen with attached lace. It's got some nice green in it. It's got a lot of different colors to it, really. Some purple in there. This had been tea dyed prior. So yeah, that was my last, for this year anyway, experiment with Ecoprinting, and I'm really happy with the results of this one. This turned out great. So now that I've showed this to you, I can start using it, and I'm going to start with this piece here because I'm laying out a scroll right now, and I've just been waiting for these pieces to put in it. So give it a try if you haven't used alum. And I just bought it on Amazon. I think it was $3 or something for a little bag, and you don't use much. And I followed Kelly's instructions. Kelly from Book and Paper Arts. She has wonderful instructions on printing fabric and paper. And I followed her instructions for both this and the papers. And for the first time in all the times that I've tried this, the first time I'm really happy with my results. So give Kelly a watch. I will try and put the link, if I remember, in the description below to her channel. But she does beautiful dyeing, and if you want some inspiration, give her a shout there. So I hope you enjoyed this. So now that I have almost completed all my Christmas makes, and I am going to be cleaning up the studio, I have decided that for the next month or so, I am just going to work on one project. And, well, maybe two, maybe three. I don't think I can just work on one project. However, I have used some of those beautiful fabrics that I showed you a minute or two ago, and I'm going to make myself a little scroll. And I have this little piece of wood that came from my hedge. This is a piece of maple that grows pretty wild in our Carigana hedge. We cut it down, and I've been saving it. And this piece I was going to make, it's one of a big piece, but I was going to make a walking stick out of it. But I decided to cut it up and make it into scrolls instead. So that's going to be my piece. And I have two cloths laid out, and I want to show them to you so that you can see what it is I'm going to be working on. So here is the first piece. I've just pinned it for now. I hope I'm not going too fast for you to see all the beautiful echo printed pieces. Now this is going to be the end that wraps around the scroll. So I'm not doing anything up to there. So I'm going to go back. I'll bring it up a little bit closer for you. All of this I have echo printed myself. And that's something for me to be proud of because I'm new at this. I've only been printing for a year or so, but I must say it is so enjoyable to turn old cloth into such beautiful cloth. So that's one piece, and there's another piece that's going to go with that. Just let me grab it. So this piece is going to be attached to the other one. It's going to be quite a long scroll. And see, I cut that piece out, that lace piece, and it's just going to work so well right there. So I will be sewing the two together. I've left some space. I'm going to sew the two strips together. I'm not going to do that yet though. First I'm just going to be stitching this down with some invisible basting. But yeah, this is going to be just a gorgeous, gorgeous scroll. So next step is to invisible baste these two strips down. And then I will probably join them and finish collaging. And then I will start stitching. So I can't wait to get started on this. This has been what I've been dreaming of doing all the while that I've been doing this Ecoprinting. I've been thinking about doing it into a scroll. My very first scroll of my very first Ecoprinting. I think that's a really wonderful thing to be doing while I'm waiting for Christmas. So I'm going to be starting this probably this weekend. I've got this all pinned down now, so I'm going to start to invisible baste all of this down, and then I will join the two strips together into one great big long strip. And you can see there will be a little bit of the stick showing out. But yeah, I can't wait to get started on this. This is going to be a lovely, lovely Christmas make. I won't have it done by Christmas by any means. It's going to be stitched heavily. I will add some more layers on as well. You know, I have other small, tiny little pieces I can add here and there. And I was thinking that I might actually even add some other things on, like pieces of things that I have. For instance, I have a few little tiny pieces of jewelry that belong to my mom. I might stitch them into here. I have a bunch of ideas of things that I might add to this. But this is going to be a very special piece for me because it's my Ecoprinting. And finally, I get to use it for something that I've dreamed of doing for quite a while. So I hope you enjoyed this little portion. And on to something else. So I've also been finishing up my knitting, and I've made gloves. These are for my son. I still have to do all the, finishing up, but they turned out really nice. And the pattern that I use is in this book here. It's an old beehive pattern from World War II. And I don't know whose it was. If it was my mom's or I don't know. Anyway, it's got really good patterns in there, especially these things. Remember well, if you're from Canada, you probably grew up with one of those on your head, even girls. So anyway, yeah, the glove pattern in here is really good. There's socks, gloves, and there are a few patterns for women in the back part. And there is a pair of women's gloves in here, but they are made from fingering yarn. And where I am, that's not warm enough. These ones that I made here, I made two pair. There's another pair here. I made them out of worsted. These are for Jonathan and Gary. So this is what I need to make for myself, is a pair of worsted. So what I'm trying to do, the women's pattern and the men's pattern is quite different, actually. Not the construction of, but how many stitches and, the lengths and all that, which you would expect it to be. So what I am trying to do is use the man's pattern because I want the room. Actually, I'm not really a glove wearer. I wear mittens in the winter time because they're warmer. But if I could make a pair of gloves that aren't so tight, they would be warmer. And these ones actually, if I pull them right up like this, they aren't too bad. So they're very loose, but you could, I'm trying to make them smaller to fit. Like I got my hand pulled right in. Otherwise there, you know, there's a lot of room. So what I'm trying to do is make them using the same amount of stitches, the same length of the cuff, because I do like a long cuff so you can tuck it onto your jacket sleeve, and but not so long in here. So I'm altering it a little bit, and I'm making mine out of a DK. This is from that Afghan that I made. It's Hirschner's Afghan yarn, and it's very soft. So I started it in a DK, but I have this other yarn, and I think this is probably a DK as well. It's a sock yarn. So I'm going to hold this with the other for the hand part and see what happens. I mean, if it doesn't work out, I'll just frog them and keep the yarn, but I'm just playing around with it just to see if I can use up some pretty yarn for myself. So that is the sock part. They're done. I just have to sew in all the little ends, which is probably going to take an evening or so. And then the other thing I have been doing is crocheting. And if you remember, I bought this kit, another kit from Hirschner's, to make this buffalo blanket. And when I showed it to you back, oh, I don't know, maybe August or something like that, I said I wasn't going to start it until after Christmas. Guess what I did? Yeah, I started it. And I also said that I was going to not, this one is in strips. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strips like this. And you have to do strip by strip and then sew them all together. And I said I wasn't going to do that. I should have read through the pattern more, because it is another fade kind of thing. You do 2 colors at one time, and you do 24 rows, and you change one, and you keep on going like that. And so that's what gives it that fade look. And if I would have paid attention when I first looked at it, I would have seen that. So I am crocheting the strips. And I've got one done. Just let me find it. I've got one done. So you can see you're changing color every 24 rows. And I've got another one done, which now is mostly the gray. And all I've got to do is one more 24 things. So it goes really quite quickly. So yeah, I didn't wait till after Christmas, but that's okay. It's something that I can do while I watch TV. It's just single crochet, 24 rows, then you drop one and pick up the other. You usually start with one color and you carry one color through, and then you add the other ones as you go through. So super simple, and I think it's going to be quite nice. So those are the two things that I was working on other than the stitching projects. I think it's nice to have a little bit different. And I was really getting bothered with the knitting before when I was doing socks, and I haven't done any socks because for some reason my shoulder was just killing me doing socks. I don't know why. So I had to kind of stop, but after Christmas I'll pick up some sock knitting. So I guess it's time to tell you about the draw. So a couple of weeks ago, I told you that I was going to do a draw on 2 patterns. One is this Frosty Folks booklet from Leisure Arts. It's cross stitch. It's got some really cute patterns in it. And the other one is this St. Nicholas. It's a Stony Creek pattern. Ow. Yeah, so there wasn't a lot of interest in these. I'll be perfectly honest with you. And I don't know why, but it's all right. So there was only one person who wanted this one. And so Judy Mason, no, Kim D, 618. You were the only person who wanted this one. So it's yours. You get that one. So Kim, if you could just put your, send me an email. I got my email address in the description below with your address in it, then I will get that in the mail to you. So Kim D 618, this is yours. Frosty Folks, the winner of Frosty Folks is Judy Mason 9372. So Judy Mason 9372, if you could do the same, if you could send me an email, my email is in the description box below, and I will mail this out to you. So I want to say a very warm welcome to all the new subscribers. There have been a few people joining us. So thank you for looking at my videos and pressing that subscribe button. If you like my content, please like, share, subscribe. That helps get my channel moving again. So thank you so much for watching. Please take care, everybody, and I will see you again really soon. Bye for now.